Hi, everyone. Hey, this is Aurora from the Nocturnal, and we are sitting down with the cast of Pink Skies Ahead. How's everyone doing today?
Really good.
Great.
Good, good. So first, I just want to say thank you to the cast for recreating the 90s pop culture, which we all love, from the chokers to the scrunchies and the blue hair dye. And to Kelly, this being your directorial debut, congrats on that. What made you decide to get behind the camera and describe how you brought this nostalgia to life?
Well, I wrote this script. It was based off an essay that I wrote for my second book. And I really, people really were drawn to it. Readers were really drawn to it when I went on my book tour. They kept talking about how great this essay was and how much it helped them. And I was like, wow, if I can help readers, I should try and get this on screen and help more people and get this story out. So I translated it to a script, when it hit me, and it was really fun to do it. And I knew that I wanted to direct it myself because I had lived through it, and it would have felt really weird to pass it off to somebody else and watch their vision of it, and their version of it would have felt wrong to me as the creator and the writer. It would have felt wrong. So I was very excited to make this my first film.
Amazing. And I actually had a question about that as well. In choosing this particular piece, did it influence or help influence your casting for Jessica and Lewis as Manoa and Ben?
um I mean, I knew Jesse's work pretty well, and I knew that she was just like this dynamite girl who could pull off pretty much anything. She's such a phenomenal actor, and I really wanted her, and and she was available when I was available, and that was, the stars aligning, and it worked out. And Lewis came in and just gave me this amazing audition, and before the audition was even over, I knew he was Ben, and I was just like, we're done. As soon as he walked out of the room, I just turned to everyone. I'm like, we're done. That's Ben. Let's let everybody in.
Nice.
We got him.
Guys that auditioned for that role are like, oh right, okay. Like anybody that like saw you in the room are like, damn, I tried so hard. That's so
Well, I'm glad that it all worked out because that was really phenomenal casting, in my opinion. So it was really, really great. And I just wanted to add, being that it's a 90s piece, like as a 90s kid myself, I have to say, when Noah's wardrobe made me so jealous, like both Jessica and Lewis, was there anything that you wanted to keep from set after production?
I did. I got to keep a lot. I got to keep my boots.
Oh,
And I got to the main thing that I really wanted to keep was the skirt with the playing cards on. But I couldn't keep it because it was like really vintage. But they did give me the things that they were able to buy, they gave me. Um, but the cool vintage things, like, no. But as soon as we wrapped, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna carry on dressing like that. And then I realized that it's actually like really expensive to dress like that nowadays, because you have to like buy all like the original vintage stuff. So I just went back to not really dressing like anything.
well, it looked great. Lewis, how about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I was able to stop myself, but I ended up not going home with my hemp puka shell necklace, which now I'm wildly regretting. No, but it was like it was cool to see, to like to pretend like you were that age at that time. Like I haven't really something about that time, that era. It's always, the we were just talking about it. Like I was born in '93, but like my memories didn't really start to solidify until, like early 2000s. So it was cool to kind of explore what that looked like, and especially on a set that did it so damn well.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely seemed like we all kind of like took a blast to the past. So it was a really nice visual element to see. And Greg,
Yeah.
to you, you have a number of box office hits on your resume. How did this project come to you, and what spoke to you about the script that kind of really made you to want to get behind in producing it?
Well, this was one of the first things that we decided to do with the new company after I left Warner Brothers. And I've just been a fan of Kelly's forever. We were so lucky to have her write a script at Warner Brothers. And as soon as we started the company, it was like, okay, well, who can we get behind that's going to make a difference and going to make something incredible? And Kelly was the first person that popped into our minds. And I'm so glad we got to do that. She is, as you can tell, going to be a force for a long time. And we all are so proud that we were able to be a part of her first film.
Awesome.
And Aurora, don't you think it's cool that it's an MTV film? Speaking of the 90s.
Yes,
So true.
I love that. That is so cool. And that was another thing that I was going to mention as well. I did find it was really cool that the film lines up with MTV's new Mental Health is Health initiative to help those struggling with issues feel kind of really seen and see the diversity in their stories, and in an authentic way. So to Lewis and to Jessica, why was it so important to tell this type of story through your role and also just to be a part of it as a whole?
Winona was like myself. I was like Winona when I even made this role. I was like very defiant. I have anxiety. I think I talk about it quite a lot. Probably talk about it too much. Like people probably like, shut up, like we know, like get over it. But I talk about it a lot. And I was like Winona when I played this role. I was like, I'm fine. Like, who cares? Like, people know that I'm crazy. Like, people think that it's funny. People actually like the fact that I'm like this. You know, I did all of that stream of consciousness conversations. And I mean, and I was 26, so there's no hope for anyone really. No, like I was 26, so it can stay with you for a long time. I just hope that people watch it, and I wanted this to contribute to people understanding that there isn't a type of person that is going to get anxiety. There isn't a type of person that is going to get depression. Like, it doesn't exist. Like, they don't look a certain way. They don't talk a certain way. They're not from a certain place. Like, it is everybody. Like, everybody will probably deal with this at some point. And to stop, you know, the amount of people that have said to me in my life, well, you don't have anxiety because like you seem really confident, or how can you have anxiety and be an actress? Like, you can do many different things. Didn't one of the Kennedys had anxiety? Like, literally, like presidents have anxieties. And really, Beyonce has anxiety. Like, all these really successful people are dealing with this. And just keep adding to that conversation where you don't know what the people are like, you don't know what someone is dealing with, and this isn't the rest of your life. Like, you can do amazing things with it. And just to tell people, like, me and Kelly, Kelly is a writer and director. So, like, she made this movie from her experience. Like, I acted in this movie from my experience. If you get to a place where you can be healthy and you can own it, you can do amazing things with it.
Absolutely. I like when you mentioned Beyonce, I was just thinking about Sasha Fierce. Like, that's why she has that alter ego. So everyone kind of goes through that, definitely. And to Lewis, with your character Ben, he kind of plays the polar opposite of Jessica's character, but we still get a sense that he might be struggling with really living up to expectations of those around him. That's kind of the sense that I got. What was important for people to take away from your character in particular?
It's a good question, and I think, you know what, because after I read it, you know, I think everyone connects to some character in here. I didn't necessarily connect with Ben, but in certain parts I did, you know. But also I think it's important to have, you know, whenever you're in whenever you're in a rut or something, and you're always looking for some shortcut to how to solve it. So I think like my character was a good representation of like a scapegoat of like, okay, well, I've got this huge thing that needs to be dealt with, and I want to deal with anything but it. What are some other alleyways that maybe I can distract myself with, postpone this thing that's haunting me, this shadow that's like this monkey on my back. Yeah. So I think Ben is a good example of like, you know, he's never really, they were probably not like perfect for each other, but was like, she was all of a sudden like throwing on all these like projections of like what this could be, and Ben wasn't necessarily the guy, but he was like the vessel that was perfectly there in that moment, you know.
I agree, absolutely. And I think everyone who sees this is definitely going to see something in each character and be able to take something away from it to grow. And I thank you guys so much for sitting down with the Nocturnal today. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching the film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.